Yeah, anime reflux. I think that's the sound of my air purifier on the waveform. I'm gonna fucking fix that if I can. If it turns off. It's fucking stupid touch controls. It doesn't want to turn off when I hit the thing to turn it off. There we go. Okay, so touch controls. It's just like, it's
Don't
great
you
when it
know it's the
works.
future?
If it doesn't fucking work properly, then it's the worst thing in the world. Anyway, anime reflux is the thing we're supposed to be doing this week, which was
Yes.
shit. What was the show? Cluster Edge.
Cluster Edge.
Cluster Edge, which is a cooler title than it deserves.
I know, right? It.
Yeah.
All right. So before we talk about what this show actually is, I just want to say, man, I don't like it.
Well put. I mean, yeah, that's basically how I came down on it too. But
This is an anime original. Um, did not have a manga first. Later on, it did have a manga. Um, with it, and then after that, it had a video game for the PlayStation 2.
it came out in 2005. It does not look it.
It looks
This
old.
this 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 is a low budget show.
Oh yes, I was about to say that the amount of still shots during action scenes,
Yep.
it's ridiculous. I don't usually even look for that or like notice that, but this was blaringly obvious.
Glaring. No, no, blaring.
Yeah, blaring. That's
Glaring
right.
with a G.
Yeah, I know I got the word wrong. I'm sorry.
Uh, yeah. It just feels like that's one of those mistakes that's just gonna become commonplace, and I hate those. So,
Glaringly obvious, yes.
yes. Okay. So, it starts with a fucking fighter jet pilot in the most rickety ass fighter jet ever. Uh, he climbs in, and there's another guy, and he's like, "Hey, wait, what are you doing?" And fighter jet pilot guy goes, "I have to do this one alone," or something like that. And then he takes off, and then the other guy, I feel like he runs after the plane. Did I imagine that?
I don't think you did.
Uh, there's anime physics, and then there's what? So yeah, he runs after the plane, and grabs on, and then I don't know, gets flung off or something. I don't remember. But he doesn't get to go with the other guy, who takes off,
Hmm.
and we don't really learn anything about any of them.
Oh, by the way, just gonna cut away to anyway, so there's an armistice happening between these two countries. I don't know the names of the countries, and now artificial soldiers we're closing it down. All the creation of artificial soldiers used to fight our wars, and I'm like, you know what? Talking about how they bring up the small debate of using artificial soldiers in exchange for human lives, and how that's an act of compassion and something that God would approve of per this religious order. And the religious order is like, no, but you're killing people. And I kind of like that topic coming up, and then it's just abandoned.
Yeah, I mean, if you can clone people, you probably also have the technology for autonomous, like, so just robots.
Yeah,
Like that tech tree requires some other investment that would also give you something along the lines of, but whatever. Let's
these
say it's
soldiers are
magic. Who
grown in
cares?
a lab.
Hmm.
we wasted the lives of so many artificial soldiers. I don't know if these artificial soldiers actually have their own thoughts and emotions.
Well, to our knowledge, we don't see any, so yeah,
Unless the soldiers in the beginning are artificial soldiers, but that's not told to us at all.
yeah. Or if manic pixie dream moron is one of them. I assume that's going to be a thing that comes up later. But yeah, so all the clone soldiers locked away, and the priest guy is like, "Yeah, it's cool." Also, that one dude that was the fighter pilot, he is important to the priest dude for some reason, but we don't really know why.
Then we cut over to a train.
Yep, a train where there is a rich kid. The rich kid is dining in first class, and everyone's like, "Ooh, look at that rich kid! He's going to a rich kid school." Yeah, and
Look at him. He's so refined. He's the part of the Jasper family.
yeah, and everyone makes a big deal about the Jasper family and how they would have totally gotten some of the Jasper family delicacies if they had actually known he would be aboard. And I just feel like that's the most dumb shit thing you could possibly do for someone
Yeah.
if they're from a place that has very specific foods and they're traveling, they probably don't want to eat the stuff from where they came from.
Yeah. It's kind of dumb. And then we cut over to boy who kind of is in the cargo department,
Yeah, he
with
got a
a
cargo ticket. He is allowed to ride with the baggage, and that's it.
he is a free spirit who um is on his way to school in the same school that this other guy's going to.
And I hate
And
him.
he
It
dude
it was
tries
a
to sneak it.
it was a
Yeah.
fun kind of hate. You see, it started out really low. It's like, okay, I don't really like this guy, but he's our protagonist. I guess fine, whatever. And then it just kind of bubbled and just sort of like you know you could see it simmering, and then whoo, it really started to boil over as the episode went on. It was a
Yeah,
real build
so
up of hatred. It was fun.
it's a roller coaster that only goes up.
Yeah.
He tries to sneak into the fancy compartment so he can get some food. And the guy's like, "No, you can't do that. No, this is not part of your ticket. No, you can't do that." And he keeps trying to sneak in. Then Richie Rich Boy um uh walks by and they have a really romantic
Well, he
um
he walks by and everyone gets out of the way except for this one dumb kid who just decides to stand there being blocking his path for no reason like a dickhead.
and the background turns all sparkly and romantic and I'm just like, "Okay, is that the direction this is going?" And then they're like, "Do you know that guy?" Because you're like, it's like, "Nah, I don't really know that guy, but we're gonna be friends soon."
Yeah. The best way to make a friend is to block someone's path and look like a dickhead.
You're gonna be friends soon. What about his feelings in that? No, we'll be friends. It'll be fine. And then they give him food. I don't know why.
Yeah. Because he's endearing.
He
Yeah.
the train suddenly stops to a halt. After a brief scene of Richie Rich Boy here, flashbacking to literally like 2 minutes ago when people were complimenting him and throwing down his tie and being like, "Ugh,
Ties.
I hate formal attire." Um, Hi, we're in the middle of recording the Reflux slicer.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So, train is
Ooh,
suddenly
boring.
brought to a stop. Yeah, yeah. Train is suddenly brought to a stop, and our protagonist goes out and hears a report of there being a conflict happening, and thus I'm going to get in my plane and fly away to go into the conflict.
I feel like we missed a scene somewhere. Wasn't there a thing in like a restaurant or something? And there was some military guys that. Oh, that comes up next. Right. I'm
That's
jumping the
later.
gun a little bit. Yeah.
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 So he takes off, and he goes and intervenes in this fight between the military and the one soldier guy we saw in the beginning who took off. Um, Despite being in a civilian airship, he
Yeah.
gets shot a
So
lot.
so the way this went was he had a fucking stupid looking fighter jet that looks the most rinky dink piece of crap in the world, like most of their fighter jets seem to. Uh, and he takes off vertically from the back of a train
Yes,
uh, and flies forward toward the front of the train where all the military vehicles are.
yes.
I feel like he should have gotten shot down at this point.
You think, but don't worry about it. He's the protagonist.
Right.
So he goes in there. He gets shot like, and the way they animated just the sheer amount of gunfire and damage that he instantly takes. I'm like, how is your plane not down?
Oh, it's crazy. It's like hundreds of bullets.
It's just like thousands of rounds just keep. I'm just like,
Oh, oh, we completely forgot the fucking reason that he's going to fly there. He says to the stewards of the train, "Don't worry, I'm gonna go to where this guy is, and I'm gonna get him to surrender. This guy in a fucking fighter jet. I'm gonna talk to him. Somehow. And get him to surrender peacefully. Somehow. While everyone's shooting us. This is my
and they're like
plan."
that, and they're like, that's stupid. He's like, oh well, I'm going.
They
And,
directly tell him that's not how this works, and he's like, "Nah."
Yeah, and he goes, and he gets shot. Because of course he does. And that should feel cathartic, but it doesn't. It just... Why am I watching the show is the response I have to this. And it's like, oh yeah, because we're doing this show is the reason. Mm.
So then he suddenly glows a mysterious light that forms a shield around him and the other
Well-
ship and deflects
Well, the way it works
thousands
is,
of bullets.
before he gets shot, he flies alongside the other dude's plane. And they have a long stare down where presumably the protagonist realizes, oh shit, I have no way to actually talk to him to get him to surrender. So he just yells. And the other guy doesn't respond because why the fuck would he? And then they get shot. A lot.
And then he forms a bubble shield. And despite it looking like his plane was literally torn to shreds, after the bubble shield dissipates and they just kind of fly off normally. And then they get shot again.
Yeah, they fly off normally for about 20 seconds, and then just, yeah.
Because anti-air guns. That's how that works. They don't really... They have to worry about range a lot less.
This time they were actually shot by another plane, I believe.
Were they?
They were out of
I
range
don't
of the
remember.
ship, but
One
yeah.
was shot by the other plane, other one was like anti-air guns.
But,
so-
one thing about the scene that bugs me, and it's kind of a problem in general, is
Just one?
this.
Okay.
There are many, but this character is implied to be a mass-produced artificial human soldier. So you're telling me that every single one of these artificially created soldiers, like basically clone troopers from Star Wars, can do this. They can make a energy shield.
No, not. I don't think that it's this character that is the artificial soldier necessarily.
Are you sure? Because it seemed to strongly imply that. Like the human in the tube that they showed off to show off that concept looked exactly like it.
I missed that.
My question would be in that case, were all the artificial soldiers this fucking stupid? Would
Yeah,
be
they
my
might be.
question. But
I mean, they don't need to be smart to fight if they're just the lowest level troops.
yeah.
Anyway, cut over to Richie Rich guy who's at a restaurant at the port now, and military guys are talking. And it's like, yeah, no, we down those guys. Richie Rich gets into a fight with them, and they're like, yeah, no, those guys are probably dead. they're very much probably dead.
Yeah. And then they're not. They just, crawl onto the shore somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I hate this. I hate
It's
this a
not
lot.
good. It's not
So,
good.
this is not a very popular series. I can tell. Because looking on the wiki page, I see these are the descriptions for the main characters. Beryl, aka Rich Guy. Beryl is an honor student who hates his family.
Cool.
That's it. Agate is the main protagonist and actually a god of judgment.
What?
Yeah.
That feels a little bit from out of nowhere.
So, what's his stance on trying to break into the food cart? The restaurant car? That feels... I don't know. It's worth a fine or something.
Let's see. Music was bad. Animation was bad. Characters bad. Pacing and flow of the story bad.
I don't know.
It's hard for me
I'd say pacing was... If there were better story beats, I probably would have thought it was fine. It's just that the story beats were nonsense.
I was confused by the pacing. To be honest, I was like, "Why are we going here? Why are we going there?" And like, apparently, the majority of the story is supposed to take place in an academy. I don't. How do we get to that?
I don't know. I mean,
How does this all?
it seemed fair enough. Like, it was supposed to be like, hey, the first bit is the macro story. There's artificial soldiers and stuff, and there was a war and it's over. And then we get the micro story, and it's this fucking stupid asshole kid and his rich asshole friend, and they're on a train to go to this academy. And then other dumb shit happens to explain why we should care about these people, even though it doesn't really sell us properly. It's, pacing's pretty standard for this sort of show.
I guess. Yeah.
It's more like they established the wrong things about, like, they didn't make the characters endearing in any way. They just kind of, when they're not stock archetypes, they are idiots. Like, I don't really know how to go beyond that. They're just, like, brain rottingly stupid, and I don't understand why they were written this way. It's like they took the Goku concept and turned it up to 237.
I think it's worth noting the target audience is, according to the demographic it was made as the manga, is shoujo.
Okay.
So the target audience is, girls, and so I can see the intent of like, cute boy, kind of dumb, but has a good heart. But it doesn't seem to land that.
Yeah, no, not really.
So yeah, not a big fan of this one, and I wouldn't even put it down to not being the audience. Like, okay, it's a shoujo show, like
Oh no,
like you
I
say,
was
it
only
kind of gave
bringing
that
up.
impression, like with the stare down, the stupid fucking stare down.
Yeah, I only
But
brought up the target demographic as kind of a way to examine why these characters were probably built the way they are. But even
Like-
if we're not the demographic, it should still make sense. And
yeah, we have watched shows where we're not the demographic, and usually we'll just call it out as not. Yeah, this didn't really grab, but it's not really aimed at us, so that makes sense. But in this case, it feels like we're not the demographic, but that doesn't really change the fact that it's shit.
Yeah, you can see the appeal even if it's not aimed at you. This is not that.
Yeah.
Cluster Edge. You guys want to go to Cluster Edge Academy?
Was that the name
I
of the
don't-
school? I don't think that was. It's
It's
Cluster
like-
EA. Yeah, it is. Okay.
Cluster Edge Academy.
I mean, the school in MHA is Ultra Academy, so
Plus Ultra.
I mean they never officially established that, but it's like the motto is Plus Ultra. It's Ultra Academy. So, I'm not gonna judge it for having a really stupid name like that, like just really over the top, but that said, wouldn't it just be CEA or CE Academy?
Yeah. That would make more sense.
You've
Whatever.
automatically given it more thought than the show's creators. I don't think this is a project that had a lot of effort put into it.
Oh well. Please let's roll and get something better.
All right. Next number is 8.
8 H. You would have thought for like an anime site you would have seen more than 2 shows on the list that have hentai as the title. But no. Fair enough. It is exactly 100.
Well, we got a 1 in 100 shot. Let's go.
Hajime no Ippo. Hajime no Ippo.
69.
Oh fuck.
Wow.
That one's gonna have hentai in the title. It's just not gonna start with the word hentai, and that's gonna be the trick. Oh my god, this could not be more fucking perfect. Okay. Oh god. Oh, bear with me. Bear with me. We'll get there. Oh boy.
I'm post the link already. I'm so curious. Oh. Oh. Alright.
Because of course it is. How could this not be number 69?
Number 69 is High School DxD.
Oh my god.
The classic. What a perfect number to roll.
Oh god. Oh, I'm crying. Oh boy. Alright. Oh, I probably just broke levels like a motherfucker. But, yeah. So, the show we have to do for next week is High School DxD.
That could not have been more perfect.
Yeah, alright.
Issei would be proud.
Oh, okay. So, High School DxD is next up to anime. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.